steep learning curve.
A few pots for Gladstone, getting him on top, and Giddens has, really yet to drag anything. It's looking like there's a couple players, including, of course, Ollie Brown, who seem willing to get out there and try and take this by the scruff of the neck.
100.
Raise to 100.
Nim Patel
Plus.
really putting the heat on.
Plus.
He's getting cards that a lot of players would be calling with,
Never believes me, Glad does
but they're above average, and he's raising with them. He's
I'm not lying, Stoney.
You know where you are now, innit? I better.
Oh, Stoney. You're going to be this time. Not Queen 4 again, oh.
Well, slightly less junk.
You'll be in it, haven't you?
But what happens if he hits his ace and Min comes out he hits his 8 and Min comes out betting? Will he fold that? Ooh, that's a scary old board, isn't it?
It's psychic.
Oh, Gladstone comes out betting.
40.
40.
Go on, Stoney.
Cool.
I like that call by Min. Let's keep the pot small. He's got a lot of ways to hit a straight, and he's not really sure if he's ahead or behind, is he? One thing Min is thinking to himself is, if he lets Gladstone keep betting, the betting might not be so big.
Well, that's one of the 10 cards he could have hit to put him in front.
Check.
Still a bit scary, isn't it? It's not the best card
I'll
for
go
him to
40
hit.
stone.
40.
It's a little tiddler, isn't it? 40. A little tiddler, just to see where he stands.
Are those 50s he's got in his hand there? No.
I want to
Raise
raise
to
it.
80.
Raise it.
40.
Cool.
Nice bet, Gladstone. Now, I'll tell you what, Gladstone could win this pot on the river if he's willing to dig deep. Is he willing to dig deep?
Diamond.
3 6s are good, but to a strong bet.
Oh, any 10. Oh, it's how deep?
Go on.
It's got to be.
It's gotta be 200.
Yeah, I think it's
Gotta
got
be.
40.
40's
Cheap
not
enough, isn't it?
necessarily deep enough, is it?
You're 10.
He's going to feel sick if he doesn't call.
That's plenty. Yeah, I'll call it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So it's your 10, Glad.
Oh, and Gladstone's been...
Okay, cards open, please.
He's been exposed.
And your 10.
Steve.
Okay, perfect.
I think the bet was just a little
Made it
small.
a bit
All
bigger,
Gladstone
I
had to
might
do
have
was
checked
reach in the back pocket for a mere 50-pound note. And Min was in the bin like Flynn. Look how surprised he is. He hasn't said, I cannot believe he's counted all that
Look
money.
at the envy there on Ed Giddens' face.
How's that babysitter looking?
It's a shame because Gladstone has seemed to have the right sort of moves at the right time, and he's just sizing them. You know, for a man as big as Small is, you know, you'd think that
Pass. Pass.
he'd know what how scary the big bet threat can be, if you know what I mean.
40. Cool.
Well, I think probably the way to explain it to the
What is it?
cricketers,
40 to
No, I'll have a sit
how
down.
scared are you when somebody's charging in to bowl, or if they're just sauntering in to bowl?
and FX.
I mean, Gladstone does speak softly, but he carries a big stick.
Nothing much out here. Mark Ramprakash currently in front. No longer, as Steve Marsh rockets to the front.
Has Ali got 2 pairs?
Check.
Or 1 pair? 1 pair.
He's betting out with his flush. He can't afford to see another heart come, so
In
try and
the
put people off.
in the darts heat, the check raise was compulsory, and then in the sports presenters heat, it seemed very out of fashion. But Marsh,
And I'll...
What is
Up
that?
50.
It's a sort of raise, I believe, allowed in the Sports Stars Challenge.
It's the kind of raise that was allowed somewhere in the saloons of Arkansas back in the 1800s.
I'll call you and I'll raise you. I'll call that raise and re-raise you more. Just a call. Worried about the possibilities of already being out-flopped, but
I think Ali,
unlikely.
yeah. Well, he's
Unlikely.
decided to wait and see what happens on the turn, isn't he? I mean,
Yes.
what do you think's going to happen right now?
Well, I think a check is a nice situation for Ali. Should he have to check?
All right, slow down, Ali. Have a think. Have a think.
Thought it was
Cool.
Ali to go first there.
No, Steve has check raised him on the flop from the small blind.
No wonder.
Ali's drawn dead here. That's a good card for Brown, actually. It may get him to the river cheaply.
Check. Check. Okay, cards over then, please. Okay, flush.
Oh, that was what I didn't need to see that. I didn't want to see the last one, to be fair.
And Steve Marsh seemed to know where he was at all stages in that hand.
These top geezers all want a piece of the action and they'll be smashing each other for 6. With such a line-up, the chit-chat and cheeky banter is guaranteed.
We know each other from a cricket field, which is out in the open. We all have our specific jobs that we need to do. But in a poker game, it's what the personality might change. The Ramprakash, who is normally very sedate, very technical, very in the groove, very smooth. You know, he might come out being very aggressive and looking to steal our money right from the outset.
We're all great mates, you know. It's like we might be in one of our front rooms. It's as simple as that. Now, we know each other pretty well. Without a doubt, the most technically gifted player out there would be Min Patel.
I want to have one-upmanship, but I suppose for me it's having a one-up with Giddo really, because both of us play it quite seriously, so it'd be nice to have one over on Giddo.
I haven't got much poker experience, but the guys have been helping me out, playing a few hands with me for practice, teaching me a little bit about what are the best hands and also the betting patterns, so hopefully that will help.
Mark Ramp, it's his first game today, and we've been having a little lesson, and so I've been telling him to lay down aces.
Welcome back to the action. Steve Davis and myself peering in. Can't
Cool.
even imagine how many people we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years sort of come in Mark Ramprkash's situation, never having played before, and
Cool.
I don't know, 2 or 3 years later, be absolutely slaughtering the pros. There seems to be there's a lot of natural talent around the sporting world for this game.
Yes, one of the biggest success stories would be Beppy from EastEnders.
Go on, Rampy, sort him out.
Yeah, they're talking about him on the circuit.
Pass.
Oh, you mean Michael Greco? Oh, I don't know what his
Pass.
character's name
I forgot his name. He didn't know his name.
No, I've never seen EastEnders.
What? Disgusting.
I haven't seen the new series.
That and cricket you haven't
Sort of
seen.
the old shows.
Oh, fair enough.
Takes place in Sheffield, doesn't it?
Yes.
Good squeeze, Giddo.
Pass. And pass.
What a nice little raise by Ed Giddens.
Oh, boys.
And sometimes it's easier to play against good players. I'm not being disrespectful, playing against more experienced players. At least you know whereabouts you could be in a hand with them. With the players like your Ramps and with your Ali Brown who haven't played so much poker, sometimes you can come unstuck against them, so I'm going to have to be very, very wary.
Giddens has climbed out of the marsh, and actually, he's over Stumpy. Swampy. That's a bad name for a cricket player, isn't it?